Okay, so we're picking up where we left off from last time. We are on Genesis 37. So Joseph settled again in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived as a foreigner. This is the account of Jacob and his family. When Joseph was 17 years old, he was offered to tend his father's flock. He worked on the behalf of his brothers, the son of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. But Joseph reported to his father some of the bad things his brothers were doing. Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph was born to him at an old age. Soon one day, Jacob had a special gift for Joseph, a beautiful robe. But his brothers hated Joseph because of his father's love for him more than the rest of them. They couldn't say any kind words to him. One night, Joseph had a dream, and when he told his brothers about it, they hated him even more. Listen to this dream, he said. We were outside in the field tying up bundles of grain, and suddenly my bundles stood up, and your bundles all gathered around and bowed down to mine. His brothers responded, So you think that you will be our king, do you?" It says, "Do you actually think you will reign over us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. So Joseph had another dream, and again he told his brothers about it. "Listen, I have had another dream," he said. "The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed low before me." This time he told the dream to his father um, as well as to his brothers. But his father scolded him. "What kind of dream is that?" he asked. "Would your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow to the ground before you?" It says, but while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what the dreams meant. Soon after, while Joseph's brothers went to pasture their father's flock at Shechem, when they had gone for some time, Jacob and Joseph, their brother, pastured the sheep at Shechem. Get get ready, and I will send you to them." "I'm ready to go," Joseph replied. "Go and see how your brothers in the flocks are getting along." Jacob said, "Come back and bring me a report." So Jacob sent him on his way, and Joseph traveled to Shechem from their home in the valley of Hebron. When he arrived there, the men from the area noticed him wandering around the countryside. "What are you looking for?" they asked. "I'm looking for my brothers," Joseph replied. "Do you know where they are pasturing their sheep?" "Yes," the man told him. "They have moved on from here, but I heard one of them say, let's go on to Dothan." So Joseph followed his brothers to Dothan and found them there. When Joseph's brothers saw him coming, they recognized him from a distance. As he approached, they made plans to kill him. "He's coming, the dreamer," they said. "Come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns." And it says, "We can tell our father that a wild animal ate him. Then you'll see what we'll see what you'll see what'll become of his dreams." But when Reuben heard their schemes, he came to Joseph's rescue. "Let's not kill him," he said. "Why should we shed any blood? Let's just throw him into an empty cistern and here in the wilderness. Then he will die without us laying hands on him." But Reuben was secretly planning to rescue Joseph and return him to his father. So Joseph arrived, and his brothers ripped off his beautiful robe that he was wearing, and they grabbed it and they threw him in the cistern. Now Now the cistern was empty and there was no water in it. Then as they then just as they sat down to eat, they looked up and um, saw the cavern of camels in the distance coming towards them, and a group of Ishmaelite traders taking a load of gum, balm, and aroma resins from Gilead down to Egypt. Judah saw that. Judah said to his brothers, it says, "What will we gain from killing our brother? We'd have to cover up the crime instead of hurting him. Let's sell him to the Ishmaelite traders. After all, he's our brother, our own flesh and blood." And his brothers agreed. So they went to the Ishmaelites and who were Midianite traders came by, and Joseph's brothers pulled him out of the cistern and sold him for 20 pieces of silver. And the traders took him to Egypt. Sometime later, Reuben returned to get Joseph out of the cistern, and when he discovered that Joseph was missing, he tore his clothes in grief. When he went back to his brothers and lamented, "The boy is gone. What have you done with him now?" When says, then the brothers killed a young goat and dipped Joseph's robe in the blood, and they sent the beautiful robe to his father as a message. "Look what we found. Doesn't this look like the? Doesn't this robe belong to your son?" And their father recognized it immediately. "Yes," he said, "it is my son's robe. Wild animals have eaten Joseph. Joseph has clearly been torn into pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes off and dressed himself in burlap, and he mourned deeply for his son for a long time. His family all tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "I will go to my grave mourning for my son." It says he would say, and then he would weep. Meanwhile, the Midianite traders arrived to Egypt. There they sold Joseph to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Potiphar was the captain of the palace guards. And we will stop there, and that is the end. Genesis 37, 37, 36. Okay, and we're back with Genesis 38.